Welcome in, everyone, live at the MAC. Chase McNutt joining you solo on this Tuesday evening. It is September 24th, and we've got high school volleyball coming your way in just under 10 minutes. Now, we've got the McAlester Lady Buffaloes getting ready to play host to the Tulsa Edison Lady Eagles. Now, for both teams, they are both ranked here in Class 5A. For McAlester, they're down just one rank from the last time they played, where they were at 14. They are now at 15. They're taking on a Edison team that is 18-11 so far on the season. For McAlester, they're 14-17. They have lost 3 in a row as well. And for Edison, they've won 8 of their last 9, but they are 1-1 in their last 2 meetings. Edison also played 5 days ago, so they played on Thursday. For McAlester, they have not played since the 12th. That is not last week, but the week before, and that was a Thursday. So not quite 14 days since then, but it's been 12 days since then. So a lot of time off gearing up for this matchup, which is going to be a good one. As I mentioned, you're taking on a good Eagles team who's won 8 of their last 9 games, and that loss of the 8 out of 9 came from Coweta, and that was back on the 17th. Coweta also beat this McAlester team at pretty close to that same time period. There was a 7-day difference. McAlester played Coweta back on the 10th, which was on a Tuesday, and then 7 days later, or a week ago from today. I'm sorry if I've lost you. I'm trying to keep a track. It's the 24th. McAlester played Coweta back on the 10th. And then Coweta played Edison on the 17th. Coweta beat both McAlester and Edison. They beat McAlester 3 sets to 1. And then McAlester, they had that heartbreaker last time when they fell to Muskogee 3 sets to 2. That one with the full 5 sets. And that was after McAlester started up 2 sets to none, and they just needed one more set win for a series sweep and to win the match. And unfortunately, that did not happen on the 12th. But now it's a new day. It's a couple weeks later, and for McAlester, they're looking down the barrel of the end of the regular season here. They've got Edison prep today, and then on Thursday they go to OK, and then next Tuesday they'll go to Tishomingo, and then they will end everything off back here at home on October the 7th when they take on a top 10 ranked 4A club in Glenpool. That'll be on a Thursday, and that'll be another, I believe it's a 4 p.m. start for the 8th grade, 5 p.m. for the JV or junior high. And then you've got 6 o'clock for the 9th grade and the freshmen. And then the seniors and the varsity, they start after 7 o'clock. We're about 5 minutes away now. You can't quite see the timer because it's up above us. I'll see if I can fix that here in the break. When we come back, you'll be able to see the time at the top on the scoreboard, and then you'll also get to see the score. Although if you're looking at the screen right now, you'll be able to see when I update the score just like that. So we're going to go ahead and take our first break. Before we do, did want to say we're sponsored by Consignment Exchange Freedom Ford and McAlester Clothing Consignment. For consignment, they have new mattresses. I know many of you know them as a place for quality pre-owned furniture, which is true, but they also have new mattresses. It's important for you to know because they are hundreds of dollars less than detail. Well, how? Well, they're name brands that are factory closeouts and discontinued covers, plus other factors. They don't advertise the brands, and they sell them as is. For those reasons, you can buy a high-end name brand mattress and keep money in your pocket. Come try one out today at McAlster's favorite furniture store, Consignment Exchange, Highway 69 South. We'll be right back with McAlester High School Volleyball as they're playing host to Tulsa Edison.
Hey guys, it's Sam from Sam Wampler's Freedom Ford in McAlester and Eufaula. With 2 locations to choose from, we have close to 200 vehicles on the ground and coming in. And with vehicles starting at $29.95, we have something for everyone.
McAlester Clothing Consignment accepts consignments on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. All items must be gently used and in good shape. Please label all bags, boxes, or totes with the consignor's name. The limit on bags is 2 13-gallon bags per consignor per week. The consignment split is 50-50. Hey bargain shoppers, we have all types of clothing, toys, hand tools, jewelry, sports equipment, and more. McAlester Clothing Consignment, 1212 South Main in McAlester behind the Dollar General. Open Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., Sundays, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m.
McAlester softball and volleyball is being sponsored by Consignment Exchange, and I've been doing commercials for them since I was 8 years old. Here's the connection. My great-grandfather and grandmother started the business over 50 years ago. Now my papa, Nana, and Aunt Cleora have continued. The idea was to give a place where folks could buy quality previously owned furniture, and now it's grown as a place where families who need to liquidate estates or simply have something they need to sell, Consignment Exchange is that place. At 9 years old, I came up with the tag of McAllister's favorite furniture store is Consignment, Highway 69 South, and it still is.
Hey guys, it's Sam from Sam Wampler's Freedom Ford in McAlester and Eufaula. With 2 locations to choose from, we have close to 200 vehicles on the ground and coming in. And with vehicles starting at $29.95, we have something for everyone. And if you need parts or service, we are loading up at both locations to serve you better. Plus, with our mobile service van and our pickup and delivery, we can help you with sales and service no matter where you are. So come see us at Sam Wampler's Freedom Ford in McAlester and Eufaula and let us make it happen for you.
Welcome back to the MAC. Chase McNutt joining you live here only on our McAlester Radio YouTube page. No radio coverage for any of the volleyball games that we've done so far, and it'll continue to be the same throughout the end of this season. For the Lady Buffaloes, they're playing host now to the Tulsa Edison Eagles. This is the first matchup between these two teams this season. This is an Edison team that started out pretty hot. They started out 4-0. They did fall to 3 straight opponents after that to fall to 4-3, but then they won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more games in a row after that, so they were 10-3. But then, for Edison, it's been a season of runs. I mentioned they started off 4-0, then they lost 3 in a row, then they ripped off 6 wins in a row, then they lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games in a row, and that was from the span of the beginning of September, and that was all just in a tournament through the middle of September. And now, once you got to the 13th, that's when the win streak started, and that was, again, a tournament. They won all those games in the All-City tournament, and then they fell to Coweta back a week ago today, last Tuesday, and then they took on Skiatook on Thursday, and they beat Skiatook 3-1. So tournament play is how Edison really has gone on their win runs, and when you can do it, you can do it, and it's brought them to an 18-11 record. Head coach Lauren Merrill over there for the Edison Eagles. The McAlester Lady Buffaloes will have a tough task up ahead in front of them now. And I also will say in that tournament, the All-City tournament, they played 5A teams, 3A teams as well, and I think a 4A team as well. So it's not any slouch for these tournaments, because sometimes you can play down in classifications, but That did not happen for the Lady Buffaloes, or excuse me, for the Lady Eagles. And then for McAlester, they last played in the MacTown Throwdown. That was back in August, and then they played in the Wagner tournament. That was at the beginning part of September, and since then they've played 2 games outside of that tournament, and they've lost 2 in a row. They lost their last game on the 7th after winning 2, so they did go 2-1 on the 7th in Wagner. That was when they beat Wagner and Tahlequah Sequoia, but then fell to Glenpool, and then they fell to Coweta and Muskogee, and that's the 3-game losing streak to get us to where we are today. Now, for the Lady Buffaloes, they are going to be wearing their black on black, as they have been, gold numbering and lettering. We've got the white Buffalo sign on the left chest area just below the collarbone, and also the white trim on the neck and striped down the shoulders. And I do believe also we're about to get the national anthem or the Pledge of Allegiance, because they've had issues getting the national anthem going here the last few times. So we'll see how it goes, and I'll send it on over to PA.
That you may reflect, meditate, pray, or engage in other silent activity. Please be respectful to others around you during this moment of silence. And now for the national anthem.
And we are just about ready to get things going here at the MAC. Time for the starting lineups now for Edison and for McAlester. All right, as you heard, we are just about ready to get going here at the MAC as the Lady Buffaloes are looking to grab win number 15, trying to hold Edison away from grabbing their 19th win of the season. Starting lineup for McAlester, we've got Jalen Moscato, Elena Christie, Ellie Bass, Kylie Glover, Maddie Harvey as well. And then we'll see if it's either Logan Bradish or Hannah Harrison. But either way, that is going to be the combination of names that you hear tonight. Also included in that would be Jalen Jewell as well. And this McAlester Buffalo team, they're really good. They just at times, especially from the last time that I called about 12 days ago, at times they get a little bit down on themselves when things start to fall one thing after another. But when things are going, they're going. And now I would say the only thing really with that is just to try and be more spirited. Obviously, I never played volleyball, but I did play high school sports. So that's the only thing I would say. Other than that, this is a very good group, and they seem to be mostly positive as well. All smiles out on the floor right now, looking like they're getting ready to host a home volleyball game. Doesn't get much better than that, especially on a Tuesday. I know we've got some weather coming in tonight. I think the Krebs area around really close to over here by the high school as well. A severe thunderstorm watch. They're expected to last until 11 p.m. tonight. That doesn't mean we will get any rain. I would suspect that we'll get some. And obviously we don't know yet, but that is my guess. I know the clouds are already starting to move in, but either way, we've got nothing but cool weather for the next 2 weeks. I believe the high over the next 2 weeks was actually today at 84 degrees, so I'll take it. And I'm really looking forward to what we've got coming forward now. And as you can see on the screen, the Lady Buffaloes will have first service, and it looks like it's Lexi Peacoat in the back getting ready for first service. And with that, we are underway as Peacoat sends it across the net, and the Eagles have it now. They've got to return it. It's their third hit. They do. Glover over to Bass. Bass the setup. Christie taps it over and knocks it down. Elena Christie with the first point here this evening. That's a kill for the Lady Buffaloes. They go up 1-0 here in set number 1. Let me go ahead and update this for those of you watching on the YouTube. That would be the only way you'd be watching or listening. Pico with the service again. It's a good one. It's dug out, though, by the Eagles. Spiked and blocked by Christie at the net, and that's another point for her. And the Lady Buffaloes go up 2-0 here in set number 1. What a play by Christie. Met it at the net and sent it backwards. So Lady Buffaloes on top 2-0 here, thanks to the 2 kills after the block and the score point by Christie. Harvey diving on the deck. It's a great play. Glover running and just sends it over the net. What a play to save it. Harvey back in play to Bass. Bass over to Moscato, who tips it over. The Eagles have it at the net. The soft toss. Christie blocks it down into the net. And the Eagles can't send it over. Elena Christie responsible for all 3 points. That's another kill here in the first set. And it's 3-0 Lady Buffaloes. Lexi Pico going back to serve once again here. The junior hit her in the bottom part of the palm. Kind of looked like she just caught the bottom of it. Missed the net low, so that means that's a point for the Eagles, and Edison now has it back for their first serve. Across the net, it's a good one. Glover digs it out, takes a high bounce off of a fist, and Moscato taps it over. It's knocked into the net by the Eagles. I don't think, that's 3 hits, McAlester gets the point there, and what a shot by Moscato to the backside with the one-hand tip. It was dug out by the libero on the Eagles side, but it went right into the net, and at that point they were not able to hit it back over in the allotted 3 hits. So now it's 4-1. Moscato, her serve. It's a good one, dug out by the Eagles. At the net, the setup, the soft tapper over to Pico, back to Christie and Bass, who both sent it over. The Eagles have it. They're going to the setup for the spike. It's out of the backside, and McAlester gets a point. 5-1. They are on top so far and up by 4 to start this one out. It's 5-1, Lady Buffaloes. Moscato on the far right side of your screen. You can't see her. Here comes her service in. The Eagles have it. It's their final hit. They got to send it over, and they do. Back to Moscato. Over to Bass. The setup. Glover, backside. It's saved by an Eagle. We'll send it over. Tipped at the net. Back over to Moscato. Bass over to Glover. The hard spike out of the back. Think she got saved. Might have been out of bounds, but an Eagle hit it back, and the Buffaloes have it sent back to their side. Harvey with the dig out. Christie will send it down, but saved by the Eagles. At the net's coming off weirdly, and the bounce amounts to not being able to get it over after the Eagles hit it too many times. 6-1 is the score. Buffaloes on top. Moscato with the service. It's a long one, and now the Eagles, the only points they've scored so far to start out have been from McAlester serves that have either not gotten to the net or went out the backside of the regulation lines. So Edison getting some gifts here from the Lady Buffaloes. But for McAlester, really not a lot to complain about so far. Moscato on the hit off of the serve over to Glover. She'll send it over. The Eagles, the soft tapper. Back to Bass at the net. She'll set it up now for Glover with the soft tap, but man, just on the opposite side of the net. If somehow could have found it in bounds, that was a perfectly played ball the way she soft tapped it after rising up, looking like she was going to send it down with some authority. Looked like it fooled the Eagles. Here's the service from Edison. Moscato on the dig out over to Bass. The setup to Glover. She'll rise and send it. Saved by the libero for the Eagles. And the far side spike amounts to a kill. (6-4). Edison has scored 2 in a row. Ellie Bass now over to Glover. Glover's going to send it out of the backside. She's had a couple that looked like it would have gone there, but each time the Eagles were able to return it. We'll see if she takes some of the steam off of it. And it's Edison's serve now. Peacoat laying out for it. Grabs it over to Glover, the soft tapper. Into a good spot. The libero laid out for it, though, for the Eagles. The soft tapper over, and Christie's not able to hit it. And we've got a tie ball game. A 4-0 run now by Edison to knot it all up at 6 apiece here in set number 1. It's going to go back to service for the Eagles. It's a high one over to Peacoat. Peacoat to Bass at the net. So Christie, she'll send it over to a good spot, and the Eagles hit it over. Harvey to Bass. Bass to Christie. It's blocked at the net, but rolls off the backside and hits the ground for Lady Buffalo point. Elena Christie all over it. She's got 4 of the 7 McAlester points. Christie on the serve. It's a good one. That's a service ace for Christie. Right, that 5 points for her. McAlester goes back up by 2. It's 8-6 here in set number 1. Again, Lady Buffalo is trying to break a 3-game losing skid as they're 14-17. Another good serve, and it's just played off the hands of an Eagle. Right side tapper doesn't clear the net, but they do get it over the second time. Hannah Harrison has checked in now for Maddie Harvey. Bass over to Glover. She'll rise up, backside, and again, she sends it too strong. She can just take a little bit off. She's in a really good spot. Because I don't think with where that's hitting, it's returnable anyways. So it goes back to Edison now. Service is dug out by Peacoat. Over to Glover, the soft tapper. It is saved. The Eagles two-hand tap it over to Harvey, who's back in for, I believe it's actually Christie, but I'm not sure. It is Christie. And a nice save by the Eagles on their side. Back over to McAlester at the net. Harrison to the far side. It's saved. The Eagles with the return into the net. It's been a lot of self-inflicted mistakes on both sides. McAlester, though, has done a good job, and they're on the high side, 9-7. They lead the Eagles by 2. Service now for Ellie Bass to the middle part of the left side. The Eagles have it. A long hitter. It was just a weird setup for her as she knocks it straight into the net, which on the Edison side now means it accounts for a McAlester point. It's 10-7. Lady Buffalo's up by 3 here in set number 1. Service once again by Bass. Clears the net. It's a good one, and it's a service ace by Ellie Bass. It's the second ace today for McAlester. For Bass, that's her second point of the set. 11-7 here, Lady Buffaloes. Bass with service again. It's a higher arcing one. The return from Edison, far side spike out of the back. McAlester gets another point. It's 12-7. That one was just a bit long. And now it's a 5-point lead for the Lady Buffaloes. Bass again on the serve. Right to that save middle spot on the left side of your screen. The Eagles return it. Moscato, the two-hand save. Bass over to Glover. She'll rise up and knock it to the far side. It's returned. The Eagles will send it over to Bass once again. Harvey, right side over to Peacoat. She'll just two-hand knock it over. A one-handed tapper. Harvey laying out for it, saves it. Bassett now over to Glover. She'll rise and tap it over to the near side on the line, but it is saved by the Eagles. Running out of bounds, knocking it in is Bass. Harvey now over to Moscato. Rise up one-handed, she'll knock it in, and it's going to be a point for Edison. They're going to say Moscato reached over the net when she hit it. So 12-8. Goes back to Edison now, who trails McAlester by 4. Service is a long one, and that's just out. Nice eyes by Maddie Harvey. Excuse me now, as McAlester leads it by 5. It's 13-8 here once again in set number 1. Glover with the service. The Eagles have to return it from the backside of their side of the court, and they do just get it over at the net. Peacoat over to Bass, who runs into Glover, but Glover with the point and the kill. There was some confusion there. And there's going to be a timeout taken by the Eagles, and we'll take it with them. McAlester, they lead it here in set number 1, 14-8. We'll be right back. You're listening to Lady Buffaloes Volleyball on McAlester Radio's YouTube page.
McAlester Softball and Volleyball is being sponsored by Consignment Exchange, and I've been doing commercials for them since I was 8 years old. Here's the connection. My great-grandfather and grandmother started the business over 50 years ago. Now my papa, Nana, and Aunt Cleora have continued. The idea was to give a place where folks could buy quality previously owned furniture, and now it's grown as a place where families who need to liquidate estates or simply have something they need to sell, Consignment Exchange is that place. At 9 years old, I came up with the tag of McAllister's favorite furniture store is Consignment, Highway 69 South, and it still is.
Welcome back to the MAC now after that short break, as it's back to the McAlester Lady Buffaloes side of things as they're serving it up 14-8. Here's Kylie Glover, a very good, strong serve. It is knocked back into play. The Eagles have to send it over, and they do. A two-hand tapper. Back to Glover, to Bass at the net. The setup from Moscato, trying to tap it towards the back side, but there is an Eagle there. Edison on the return. Bass digs that out over to Harvey. Right side, Peacoat trying to find the open spot, and it's sent sky high by the Eagles to an awkward spot, but they are able to, just return it awkwardly. Moscato to Bass, over to Glover, who awkwardly hits it into the middle of the net. Looked like she was expecting a little bit different setup, and just looked like some confusion there. So Edison gets a point back as it's 14-9. Edison serve here on the left side of your screen, just out of the range that you can't see. She'll come in quickly. Service over. Harvey digs that out as a good low serve from Edison. Hannah Harrison will send it over with her one hand. At the net, the Eagles going for the spike. It's blocked at the net. Harvey the setup to Moscato, who tries to tip it over. It's sent back, and she tips it over to Harvey, who just sends it with one hand. The Eagles go for another setup on the far side. Harvey saves it over to Glover. The setup to Harrison, and she'll send it over with a two-hand closed fist. Eagles down by 5, trying to make it 4, but they spike it into the net. Their deficit now grows to 6. McAlester up 15-9. It's their largest lead of the evening here in set number 1. Sitting down is Hannah Harrison. Checking back in is Elena Christie. Maddie Harvey back to serve now on the right side. Up by 6. It's a good serve. Dug out by the libero for Edison. Out of the backside, it's sent too strong by a Lady Eagle, and that's now 16-9 for the Lady Eagles. They tied it up. It was 6-6. Since then, it's a 10-3 run by these Lady Buffaloes after Jasmine Sepulveda sent that too strong. Over to Jaylee Bird at the net. It's knocked over to Dieterle. And not able to get it across, as that's going to be another McAlester point. It's 17-9. So McAlester up by 8 here. Service from Harvey. Over now to Jaylee Bird. Set up at the net. The small tap over. Doesn't quite clear. Pico lays out for it, but it's not enough. I believe that point is given to Betsy Gonzalez. Actually, I beg your pardon, that is Jasmine Sepulveda for the Lady Eagles, who are now down by just 7. It's 17-10. Service now from Jaylee Bird. Over to Moscato, who saves it. Bass, the setup for Christie, who raises up, and her shot is blocked at the net, but it falls on the Edison side, which gives a McAlester point, 18-10. That's a kill, I believe, for Christie. Sitting down now is Lexi Peacoat for Jalen Jewell, who will come in to serve. Service over at the net, not able to be returned, and that is a service ace for Jalen Jewell. McAlester now up 19-10. Their largest lead of the game just keeps growing. It's a good serve by Jewell that time. Is barely received by the Eagles, I beg your pardon. And McAllister's not able to return it on their side, laying out for it a couple times, but no dice, and it's 19-11 now. And I do think the next time we take a break, I'm going to just expand that camera view a little bit, just to make it easier for you guys to see the left and right side. Service from Edison, it's a good one. Glover just with the soft tapper to get it back. Christie, the one-hand send at the net. Bird up now over, and it's sent out of bounds by the Eagles, and it's another McAlester point as they crack 20 here. It's 22-11. Tulsa Edison now on the backside. Their chances are looking grim here in set number 1. Service now from Moscato. She'll rise up the soft tapper. Bird saves it, but nearly out of bounds. It's awkwardly hit over by the Eagles. Right at the net. It's sent over by Bass. Eagles return it. It's blocked at the net, which leads to a weird bounce, and Moscato is not able to return that bounce. And it's 20-12 as Edison gets a point back. So 20-12. Lady Buffalo's up by 8 here in set number 1, but they have dominated here in the first set. It's been back and forth, as volleyball much so is, but again, McAlester has pretty much been on the high side the whole time, and that serve doesn't even stay in bounce, so it's 21-12. McAlester gets a point without really having to move. Hannah Harrison checks back in now. (21-12). Christie with the service. It's a hard one, but it goes right into the net. So Edison gets a point back as it's 22. I believe it's 20. I had that right. I looked up at the big board and confused me. It's 21-13. McAlester up by 8. It goes back now over to the Eagles for service. Moscato digs it out. Over to Bass. Glover. One-hand send into the backside, and that's a kill for Kylie Glover. Found the open spot. Nice job by her. Instead of going to that far right backside, she brought it a little bit more left. And now McAlester leads it by 9, and we've got a sub for the Lady Eagles. Sitting down was Ava Montgomery. Service from Ellie Bass. Eagles send it over. It's blocked at the net, but saved. And, man, just barely, no, it does not clear the net. All the effort in the world that time by Cooper Dieterle, but she's not able to get it over, sending it up over her head. And so the Lady Buffaloes go up by 10, their largest lead of set 1 here. It's 23-13 in set 1. Ellie Bass with another serve. Jaylee Bird with the return. The setup and the send doesn't clear the net that time, and the Lady Buffaloes are cooking in set number 1, 24-13, just 1 point away from a set 1 victory here at the MAC. Once again, it's Ellie Bass on the serve, and, man, almost a service ace, but it cleared and stayed just in bounds. What a job that time by Bird over on the Edison side. So it's still it's still set point here as McAlester leads at 24-14. Service now from Dieterle, and that stays in. Good serve. But if you're McAlester, doesn't hurt you too much. You're still up by 9, and it's still set point. So once again, the serve from Cooper Dieterle down by 9 for Tulsa Edison. Harvey on the save. Over to Bass. Moscato, she'll rise up. The soft tapper, and McAlester wins set number 1, 25-15. We'll go ahead and take a 2-minute break, probably a 3-minute break. We'll be back with set number 2 as the Lady Buffaloes now lead it 1-0. You're listening and watching live on the McAlester Radio YouTube page.
McAlester Softball and Volleyball is being sponsored by Consignment Exchange, and I've been doing commercials for them since I was 8 years old. Here's the connection. My great-grandfather and grandmother started the business over 50 years ago. Now my papa, Nana, and Aunt Cleora have continued. The idea was to give a place where folks could buy quality previously owned furniture, and now it's grown as a place where families who need to liquidate estates or simply have something they need to sell, Consignment Exchange is that place. At 9 years old, I came up with the tag of McAllister's favorite furniture store is Consignment, Highway 69 South, and it still is.
Hey guys, it's Sam from Sam Wampler's Freedom Ford in McAlester and Eufaula. With 2 locations to choose from, we have close to 200 vehicles on the ground and coming in. And with vehicles starting at $29.95, we have something for everyone. And if you need parts or service, we are loading up at both locations to serve you better. Plus, with our mobile service van and our pickup and delivery, we can help you with sales and service no matter where you are. So come see us at Sam Wampler's Freedom Ford in McAlester and Eufaula and let us make it happen for you.
McAlester Clothing Consignment accepts consignments on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. All items must be gently used and in good shape. Please label all bags, boxes, or totes with the consignor's name. The limit on bags is 2 13-gallon bags per consignor per week. The consignment split is 50-50. Hey bargain shoppers, we have all types of clothing, toys, hand tools, jewelry, sports equipment, and more. McAlester Clothing Consignment, 1212 South Main in McAlester behind the Dollar General. Open Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., Sundays, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Welcome back now to the MAC. I believe we've got the camera angle fixed a little bit. You can see a little bit more of the crowd, but that's okay. You also will be able to see the servers on both sides, which will just make things a little bit easier. I guess I need to fix this score for set number 1. I thought it was 25-15. It, in fact, was 25-14. For the Lady Buffaloes, it looks like Jalen Moscato, Elena Christie, Ellie Bass, Lexi Peacoat, Kylie Glover, and Hannah Harrison are going to be the 6 out there to start, with Maddie Harvey always being the libero. She'll actually check in now for Hannah Harrison as we get ready to start set number 2. Once again, you are watching McAlester Radio's coverage live of McAlester High School Volleyball. We are brought to you by Freedom Ford, McAlester Clothing Consignment, and Consignment Exchange, where I've been doing commercials for them since I was 8 years old. The connection is my great-grandfather and grandmother started that business over 50 years ago. Now my Nana, Papa, and Aunt Cleora have continued it. The idea was to give a place where folks could buy previously quality-owned furniture, and now it's grown as a place where families who need to liquidate estates or simply have something they need to sell, well, Consignment Exchange is that place. Consignment Exchange, Highway 69 South. It's also McAllister's favorite furniture store. Set number 2, we're officially underway. Service ace there for the Eagles. And they're already starting out on top. That's something they did not do at all. And set number 1 was lead. So now 1-0 in service once again for the Lady Eagles. It was a service ace for Erin Washington. She'll try for another one. Glover, a nice save. Over to Christie. She'll try to send it out of the backside. Too much mustard on it. And that's an Eagles point. Glover with a nice save on another strong serve by Washington. Glover will send it over. And another point for the Eagles. Lady Buffaloes not able to return it at the net. It's knocked into the free spot, and it's a 3-0 run now. I actually have this on the wrong side. Let me update that on the YouTube stream. And that's sent too strong. So McAlester gets a point back. Erin Washington had been over there for a while, had scored 3 straight points, but now goes back to the Lady Buffaloes. Pico with the serve. It's a good one. Returned by the Eagles. Knocked over. Pico to Bass. Glover about halfway back. Once again, just a little too much power that time. Sends it out of the backside. So it goes back to Edison now, who leads 4-1. Edison with the service. Harvey not able to dig it out. And it's 5-1 here to start set number 2. So it's been complete dominance, just flip-flopped to start both sets here. McAlester went up early 6-2 in set 1, and now Edison up 5-1 in set 2. Harvey with the dig out, over now to Bass. To Moscato, who tries to go for the kill. It's blocked and saved. Edison has it, they'll return it. Glover over to Bass, back to Moscato. Hers is blocked and not able to be returned. So it's 5-2 now. Lady Buffalo's back for service. Here is Moscato, I beg your pardon. She'll serve it over, and the Eagles too strong on the return. It's 5-3 now. McAlester gets a couple of points back. It's 3-5. They've now scored 2 straight. After they trailed at 5-1, Moscato serves it right into the net. McAlester just with some self-inflicted mistakes, and that is just something that we see from him a little. At times, it rears its ugly head in each match that I've been able to cover so far. Obviously, I've not covered every match. An awkward hit over by Glover actually ended up almost working out in McAllister's favor, but it's turned by the Eagles. Bass over to Glover, who, man, rises up and sends it into the net, and it came straight back. Moscato sends it over. The Eagles now with their return. Nice save by Harvey over to Bass. Glover will rise up. It's blocked at the net, but returned. Still playable, the Eagles. With the send, blocked at the net by Elena Christie. Christie with another point. She scored almost double digits tonight, combined with set 1 now into set 2. As McAlester trails it by 2, 4-6. They were down 5-1. They've now scored 3 of the last 4 points. Trying to make it 4 of the last 5 as Christie sends it right into the net. That's the second straight serve from the Lady Buffaloes that's gone